The film Billy Elliot, directed by Stephen Daldry, raises questions which challenge assumptions and provide insight into the human experiences to a high extent. The concept and human experience of struggling with adversity is frequently explored in the film Billy Elliot through providing the audience with a unique perspective of the coal miners' strike, and through examining the adversity of the death of a family member via Stephen Daldry's presentation of Billy's father Jackie. The search for identity is a postulation and key human experience that is portrayed through the main character Billy Elliot and his personal search for identifying as a male ballet dancer within a town that is paradoxical to his identity as it is heavily embedded with traditional stereotypes. The film Billy Elliot explores the struggle with adversity through the emotional challenges that Jackie faces as a result of the unfortunate death of his wife and the difficulty and hardships as a result of the 1984 miners' strike. Stephen Daldry uses the character Jackie to express the adversity of an individual who has lost their wife and how the masculine and patriarchal culture of British coal mining towns can negatively impact these individuals' mental health and overall emotions in daily life. An example from the film where Dodgy utilizes Jackie and various film techniques to showcase these burdens is in the scene where Jackie is destroying his wife's piano in order to provide firewood for his family on Christmas. Stephen Dodgy employs the film techniques of mise-en-scene and close-up shots. The mise-en-scene of this scene has been chosen to complement the desolation of Jackie destroying the piano, as the dark color palette and blue colors within the setting is symbolic of sadness and provides a visual cue of despondency. The close-up shots express the emotional turmoil that Jackie is facing through showcasing the sad expression on his face and revealing to the audience the negative effect that traditional male stereotypes can have on an individual, as Jackie is always trying to hold back tears. Dodgy was able to display the emotionally confining effects of masculine stereotypes on individuals who are in times of sorrow using these close-up shots. Through Dodgy's display of the character Jackie, the film provides insight into the human experience of the adversity of loss and how it can negatively affect individuals' mental health, and how traditional masculine stereotypes suppress males from expressing themselves and seeking assistance for their troubles. Stephen Dodge invites the audience to view the world differently through exhibiting how communities struggle with adversities as a collective. In the film, Billy Elliot Dodge utilizes the coal miners and their struggle against the British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher and her plans to close the various coal mines using her legal power and police force as a context for exploring the human experience of adversity and its impact on a group of individuals. An example from the film that displays how groups struggle with adversity is in the scene where the British police beat the protesting coal miners while on strike and rush into Errington with shields and batons to exert their control over the coal miners. Stephen Daldry uses the film techniques of a medium shot paired with a handheld camera and a non-diegetic sound to showcase the adversity that affects the coal miners as a collective. Daldry has used various medium shots throughout the scene in order to capture the police brutality as they beat and chase the coal miners. To truly capture the wild and sporadic nature of this moment, Daldry used a handheld camera as it allows the audience to see this confrontation from the perspective of the coal miners, thus providing further insight into the coal miners' experiences. The punk rock song London Calling is a non-diegetic sound that plays throughout the scene, adding a sense of violence. Although the song may appear to be complementing the scene solely through its energetic nature, the name of the song is metaphorical of the clash between the police and the coal miners, as the name London Calling is a reference to the World War II BBC reports and the clash between Britain and its enemy nations. A moment in this scene which truly highlights the adversity that the coal miners are facing as a human collective is the wide shot of the police at the top of the hill-like street and the coal miners at the bottom trying to run away as the police swarm them. This shot is symbolic of how the coal miners are facing a downhill battle. Dodry's presentation of the coal miners and the adversities they face as a collective allows the viewer to perceive the world differently through showcasing how individuals of a lower socioeconomic status can be powerless against political forces, as well as how the individual must face adversity such as death and emotional confinement as a result of unfortunate circumstances and masculine stereotypes. The search for identity is a concept and human experience that is explored throughout the entirety of the film through Billy Elliot. Billy is an individual who strives to be a ballet dancer, although he is a male in a mining town filled with traditional gender stereotypes. Dodgy takes the viewers through Billy's journey to ignite new ideas about what it means to be a male performing stereotypically feminine sports. An example of this from the film is when Billy is in the middle of an argument between his ballet teacher Miss Wilkinson and his brother Tony about what is right for Billy and how ballet should or should not be involved in his life. Stephen Dolge uses various close-up shots of the character Billy, Tony, and Miss Wilkinson to display their emotional attitudes towards this topic. The close-up shot of Miss Wilkinson reveals the distasteful expression of Tony's attitudes towards Billy. The close-up of Tony displays an arrogant and stubborn expression which tells the audience of how the embedded gender norms of everything are within Tony. And the close-up of Billy reveals to the audience that he genuinely does not want any conflict between his dance teacher and brother, as they are both important to him. A quote from this scene that truly displays Billy's confidence in becoming a male ballet dancer, although young and uncomposed, is when he says, "I don't want a childhood, I want to be a ballet dancer." This quote initiates the audience to think broader and see that there is more to Billy than what is visually presented, as through Dolge having Billy ignore his childhood and instead declaring that he wants to become a ballet dancer, the audience can see Billy's compassionateness and willingness to perform ballet even though it is societally unexpected of him. Stephen Dolge utilizes the character Billy Elliot to display the various emotions and aspects of an individual who strives to be unique and different in a town that is intolerant of change. Dolge has ignited new ideas within the audience as to what it means for one to be different to societal norms and yet accepting of one's own identity. In conclusion, the film Billy Elliot invites the audience to raise questions that provide insight into the human experiences through the characters Jackie and Billy, as well as the coal miners as a collective group to a high extent. Dolge's storytelling of how Jackie has been impacted from the death of his wife and the social expectations of adult males, as well as how the coal miners have been fighting for an unachievable victory against the British Prime Minister and the hardships that has had on them, allows the audience to view the world differently. The concept of the search for identity is explored through the character Billy and how, against cultural norms and family opinions, manages to maintain confidence in his individuality and continue searching for his identity as a male ballet dancer. Through this, ideas are formed about assumptions about males partaking in female-dominated sports are challenged.